you, Amor. It's indeed an honor to be here. And before I actually go into the presentation, I would like to give a brief introduction to IFC. So IFC, the International Finance Corporation, is a part of the World Bank Group, and we deal in solutions in private sector development. So it's one of 5 agencies within the World Bank Group. So IFC has a 4-part strategy to support greater investments in green buildings. So the parts are investment and advisory for banks, investment and advisory services for the building sector, green building codes and incentives, and the EDGE certification program. So all of these combine to form IFC's green building market transformation program all over the world. So over the last few years, as part of the EcoCities program, we've been looking into the housing landscape of India, and these are figures which have come up during some of our studies, and also we've seen most of these figures come up in the earlier presentations. Like with a population of 1.3 billion Indians, it is nearly 18% of the world's population, and 450 million Indians live in cities. And if we compare that, it is more than the total population of the United States of America. And as per the latest estimates of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, there's a shortage of 10 million new urban homes. So this is almost equivalent to 2.6 times of Delhi's current residential building stock. And since most of these units or urban homes have already been sanctioned, it is almost equivalent to building 2.6 times Delhi all over again. Since the construction is on such a large scale and happening within such a short span of time, non-green homes may have major impacts, and these are some of the impacts which we've tried to quantify. So 10 million non-green homes will use twice of Delhi's annual water consumption, and the total electricity consumption would be more than the total electricity consumption of the entire state of Uttarakhand, and the amount of CO2 emissions would be equal to more than Delhi's current annual emissions. So these are major negative environmental impacts. So how can we reduce or minimize these impacts? So at IFC, we found that even if we target converting at least 20% of these 10 million homes into green homes, every 4 green homes will save enough water to supply 1 additional home. Every 5 green homes will save enough energy to light up 1 additional home. And the amount of emissions reduced would result in savings of more than 1,000 crores in annual healthcare in India. So these impacts, these positive impacts, are quite significant. Green homes have monetary benefits as well. So at IFC, we commissioned a study which interviewed residents of both green homes and non-green homes, and we found that a majority of the people surveyed found that the electricity bills in green homes are far lesser as compared to non-green homes, and the annual maintenance charges in green homes were also found to be much less. So these studies are available at our websites. It's freely available to the public. So if you want to go into more details as to the monetary benefits of green homes, you are quite welcome to download these reports and take a look. So what exactly is a green building? So according to the EDGE certification program, which is launched in around 140 countries all over the world, we define a green building on the basis of these 3 parameters. A green building is one which performs 20% better than the local baseline. It can be certified as green by an independent third party, and the impacts of which can be quantified and reported. So a combination of all of these 3 would make a green building. So how do you choose the most cost-effective options, and how will the end user recognize the value of these green strategies? So we've come up with a few case studies, and we looked at how they have achieved all of these. They have succeeded in incorporating all of these green measures, and uh, these have come out to be really successful. So this particular project is one of our first projects, which was EDGE certified. It is called the Kesar City. It is located in Ahmedabad. So it has achieved savings in energy of over 23%, water savings of more than 24%, and embodied energy savings, which we call as material savings here, of more than 71%. To achieve these kind of savings, they have incorporated a number of measures. So for energy, they have tried to reduce the amount of heat gain. So they have done it through low window to wall ratios. They have installed energy efficient lighting as well as fans. So this is something which they have done extra, because normally we don't find projects providing affordable housing projects providing energy efficient lighting and fans to the occupants. For water, they have provided low flow fixtures, and they have also used the recycled black water for flushing. In terms of materials, they've tried to use those materials which have a certain amount of recycled content in it. So this particular project has been captured in the form of a case study, which is available in our website. It's also available on YouTube, so anytime you want to go into more details into how this was done, you're kind of free. You're free to go to our website or YouTube and look this up. This is another project which is the Vaibhava in Bangalore. So it has achieved energy savings of 33%, water savings of 29%, and material savings of 23%. So very similar green strategies in terms of energy, in terms of water, and in terms of materials. So this too, there's a case study on this particular project as well. This is one of our recent projects. So it's the Raynagar development project in Solapur. So it is mainly aimed at the EWS community under the PMAY program. So there are 30,000 units in this particular project. It is not yet certified. They are targeting energy savings of more than 20%, water savings of more than 22%, and embodied energy savings of more than 56%. This is another one which is coming up in Gurugram. This is the Park 2 and 3 by Signature Global. So 22% savings in energy, 41% in water, and 56% in materials. So this particular project is comprised of towers which go up to 8 to 9 floors. So there's a lot of reluctance on the part of developers to go green because they feel it will add to their cost. So IFC is in the process of conducting a study wherein we've looked at the cost of construction of green buildings as well as non-green buildings. So in this chart, the green bars represent a green affordable housing project. You can see the name of the city which is mentioned adjacent to it, and the blue ones represent non-green homes. So we find that affordable housing does not cost more within the range in which the non-green homes, the cost of construction of non-green homes. So we can also have a green homes project. So this is an ongoing study, and we are adding more and more projects to it, and we'll be continuing this in the future. And the cost of construction doesn't include the cost of land acquisition or the infrastructure costs. So which options do we choose to design green? IFC has a solution, and it's called EDGE. It's a free software, it's an online tool. Any of you can just go on the website www.edgebuildings.com, and there you can click on EDGE app and you'll have access to the software. So, and the baseline is you'll have to achieve 20% savings in the categories of energy, water, and materials to be eligible for the EDGE certificate. And in case you decide to go ahead for a third party certification, EDGE offers that particular service as well. So you get a verified green label, and the certificate would look something like this. So it's a very easy to use software, and the baselines have been derived from a study of more than 60 cities in India. And wherever your project is, your project will be compared to a baseline which is local to your region in terms of energy, water, and embodied energy savings. So this is what the software interface looks like. So the focus is on savings of 20% in terms of energy, water, and materials. So this is a screenshot from the software. This is under the energy tab. So there are two parts to it. One where you have certain strategies which are listed out, and on the other where you have a graph which shows the base case and the improved case. So the moment you come to this page and you click on certain strategies, this is reflected in the graph in terms of savings. So here you see that the window to wall ratio strategy has been clicked. There is external shading devices, low E glass, and accordingly in real time, the improved case gets, you can see the savings reflected in the improved case. So the graph of energy consumption in the improved case goes down, and the colors represent the different energy demands. So the more energy efficiency measures you incorporate, the lesser would be your energy consumption. And if you look at the top, there's a particular tab which says incremental cost. So this also gets updated because a certain number of these credits would entail an incremental cost. So in this particular case, you can see that the incremental cost would be about $900,000 extra. But because of the savings you get in the utility bills or your electricity bills, you get back this amount in say 2 years. This is a very important feature, and this is very helpful during the time of design for architects, so that you can know that what is the minimum amount you can spend to get your building to be green. So you can explore this at your own time. It's quite a fun thing to do. So this is a typical analysis from using the EDGE tool, where for Bangalore, a project is achieving around 25% energy savings, and a similar building in Mumbai is achieving around 30% savings. So this is due to the different baselines where you use the same measures, but you can have different energy savings. So if you finally decide to go for the EDGE certification, at the end of the certification you would have a certificate which would look like this. Your energy, water, and embodied energy savings would be mentioned on the certificate, and all certificates would have the World Bank and IFC logos. So the EDGE certification process has a number of stakeholders. So the first ones are the design and construction teams. So they would do the preliminary assessment on EDGE, implement changes if necessary in the design stage itself, and move towards preparing the compliance documents. It also helps, but is not mandatory, to have an EDGE expert on the team who would advise you on the best way to make your project go green. They would help you in preparing the compliance documents. In the next step, the EDGE auditor would be involved, So as soon as you have uploaded your documents on the website to show your compliance with the measures, so the edge auditor would review these measures. In case you're missing any information, they would get back to you. And finally, when you're done with all the review comments, they would recommend certification for your project. And finally, and most importantly, we have the certification agency. In India, we have partnered with the GBCI, who is responsible for getting us the certifications for the projects. So they train experts and auditors. Uh, they do the quality assessment of the whole process, and finally, after the third party or the edge auditor recommends certifications, they go ahead and issue the certificates. So it's a very clear-cut process with defined rules for all stakeholders. So Edge is a bit different from other certification systems. So you have a financial calculator which gives you the incremental costs and savings in real time depending on what strategies you'll be using. It offers easy impact reporting. The compliance procedure is fairly simple. It is cost effective. The time required for processing all the certification documents is considerably less, and you have the World Bank Group branding. So whether you're a service provider, a technology provider, developer, consultant, a government agency or bank, Edge is useful to measure the impact of a green project in any scenario. So we have a large network of global partners. In India, we've partnered specifically with the GBCI. So these are some of the organizations who are embracing Edge, and these are mostly in the emerging markets. This project, the EcoCities program and Edge, is funded by the UK government and European Union, and also by the Swiss Confederation and the State Secretariat of Economic Affairs. So it's a fairly simple system, and since green affordable housing is coming up on such a large scale in India in such a short time, we definitely need something in which the masses are able to judge how much of energy savings, how much of water savings, and how much of embodied energy savings a project would be able to achieve potentially. So Edge is a solution which is aimed at addressing this particular aspect, and it would be great if all of you could go on the website. It's a completely free tool, and use it and see how your project would fare. Thank you so much.